Hey, what's up,
Peace.
everybody? I hope everybody is doing fantastic. It's another Thursday edition. It's myself, TJ the Advocate, and we have light worker Wayne here again with us this week, this Thursday evening. I am exhausted, guys. I'm tired. You probably can see it in my face. So this afternoon, I'm going to kind of lead off of him. So again, thanks to everybody who's tuned in. So without further ado, go ahead and let's get at it again, my brother.
All right. Let's get it. Let's get it, Tawana. Once again, let me introduce myself. My name is Lightworker Wayne, and we're going to talk about a spicy topic today. Something that might ignite or trigger a few people, but we use these discussions to elevate, to educate, and to motivate. So let's get to it. Let's get it. And let's get it started. Let's get it started. So, um, we was going to talk about not black enough. What is black enough now? For I'll just go into a little bit of my experience, right? So, I'm originally from North Carolina, Fayetteville. If you had, well, I don't believe in a box, but if you had to kind of, I guess, categorize me, or just try to gain a sense of my personality and interests, I'll say I'm a intellectual. I'll say I'm nerdy. And when growing up now, and I was born 1988, so when growing up now, before the whole anime craze, before that was popping, before that's cool now, okay, that's cool now. But you know um back in the day, the whole Japanese anime, the whole being a Star Trek, X-Men and stuff like that, and if you was into that, then you was so-called, nerdy. You wasn't, viewed as you being black enough, right? Like if you didn't listen to hip hop, if you didn't know who 50 Cent was, if you didn't know who Ja Rule was, you know what I'm saying? Girl, your hips, your thighs. Yeah, I
Can,
just had
can
to throw that in.
Can I pause you for a moment?
Oh yeah,
To
yeah,
stress
yeah.
something. And for people in real life who know me, I'm just gonna say this: even if they know me, they really don't know me. They might know a version of me because I feel I'm multidimensional. But what you said, and I want people to realize just what Dwayne, how he described himself, that's really me too. I'm a nerd. I'm just a more vocal nerd, but I've always been a nerd. I've always been a loner. I've never had that cliquish type, I've always been intrigued with stuff that didn't really fascinate the people around me or my peers. So even back then, way back when, I knew that I didn't belong. And that might sound strange. And I've even had someone in the hood, a hood dude, tell me I was going out with a bunch of, you know, stepsisters and family
Mhm.
friends from that era. And I recall him pulling me to the side and saying, "You don't even belong. That don't even fit you." And instinctively I knew that way back then. So it's funny that you say that because I totally identify with being a nerd. I totally identify with being um, what our community considers odd or eccentric.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? We really don't fit under one. It's not an either or with us. Do you understand what I'm saying? They really can't read
Yeah.
you. They don't know. They don't know what you're into. Let me just say it like that. So
Yeah.
I totally relate to you on that. But continue on. I just wanted to add that in.
Yeah, like because how I verbalize myself, I was always told that I talk white, right? I was called an Oreo, and I was raised in a middle class setting, so I didn't have much experience in like lower poverty areas or the hood until I used to live with my cousin in Savannah during the summer. But you know, I never, it was a certain demographic of us that especially when I came down in Atlanta now, I faced it even more. right? Because just how I verbalize myself, how I carry myself, is not the typical view of a black male. So yeah, but basically,
Pause.
I face
Can I
that discrimination.
can I pause you
Oh yeah,
so that the viewers, when they see this, that they can have a great understanding. What is the view of the typical black man? See,
mm,
we because we can't assume that everybody has this one
yeah,
stereotype of what a black man is, because if I may, in this day and age, like currently right now, we're hearing this term high value man being thrown around. So for me, when I hear that and hear the descriptive of what that type of man is, that's not attractive to me. That type of
mm,
man is not attractive for me, the type of woman that I am. I need somebody who's going to cut the grass. I don't need you in a suit. Not saying that you can't be multifaceted and put on a suit when the time is appropriate. But for me, not saying that's not a man, or he's more of or less. It's not making one greater than the other. It's just having an understanding that the definition of what a real man, or whatever this thing of man is, differs for each person. I'm just asking you from a male perspective, what do you consider a real man? Because I hear that term thrown around a lot.
yeah. Okay. So from my perspective, or what, for our community, of what a real black man, or what a real,
I'm gonna
is.
say I'm gonna ask both, because I also
Okay.
want to make this disclaimer. In real life, me and Dwayne don't necessarily agree on everything, but I will say this: our views on where we should be as a community and quality of life, we definitely agree on that. The core values we agree on, but on everything, no, we do not agree. So I just want to put that out
Yeah.
there. It's very candid conversation. But yeah, both perspective, your perspective on what a man is, and then what you say the black community says a version of a black man is.
Okay. My perspective is based on a man's morals, based on his inner self. What codes do he live by? What honor does he live by? Does he know his purpose? Is he following his purpose? Is he living a purposeful life? Is he creating positivity? And when I mean by positivity, I'm not just talking about just being happy and sharing love, but is he being productive? Is what he's doing, is his actions productive in his family or in the community? So that's what I judge as a real man, or an higher value man. That's what I judge as a higher value man. But society wise, well I say black culture wise, what we was looking at, okay, black culture wise, a real black man was portrayed as a real nigga, a street nigga, somebody who been in the streets, somebody who been in the streets, somebody who really did what they did, somebody who has a certain image, whether if it's like the long tees or whether it's the saggy pants, you know what I'm saying? But somebody who keeps his gangster image, somebody mean mugs, who has a rep based on fear more than love.
Okay, so
You know?
I want to pause on that right there, and I can agree with the descriptive that the description of what society says when you said society's portrayal of what a black man is. But I'm have to say, and that's why I like us not really, we're just going at it authentically. That's why I like it, because
Yeah.
on that I get it. So it's not like I'm not saying I agree at all, but I get it. Do you understand what I'm saying? But for me,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think that we impose that, and it's not putting the blame on nobody. I'm not one of those said a white man did or whatever. I just feel like a lot of that was imposed based on what we see in media, music, and entertainment, what has been illuminated. So those type of things have been glorified, and so now it's by it being glorified on TV and on the big screen for decades. It ain't like it just started. For
No. Yeah.
decades, it's always the big man, and I heard this somewhere the other day. You're probably going to get mad when I say his name, but we're going to get into that later. My boy,
Okay.
Tommy Sotomayor. I love me some Tommy Sotomayor.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He said this the other day, and it was so profound. Just what you said. We're speaking about black men. The only time when black men are not considered offensive or aggressive, or society isn't afraid of them, is when they're little babies, not even boys anymore, but babies or old ass men, when they've already worked their ass off for the white man. Those are the only times that they're not seen as, you know, violent, or, and I ain't gonna even say it in the white community. It's like that in our community. You know, if we think about it, you don't really view the baby or the older seasoned black man, an elderly black man, 75 years old, you don't view him as a threat to you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
And I'd just like to add, and a homosexual brother.
Absolutely. That's what Tommy said too. Yeah. He absolutely said that. Those are the three men that society ain't afraid of. So that's why, and what you just said, I'm glad that you included that. Those are the three men that society is not afraid of. The elderly black man, because he ain't got no more, he ain't got that wind, he ain't got that young bull in him. So he's not a threat. He's not a threat. The young black baby, because he hasn't learned, he hasn't seen the pervertedness of how society and how justice is. So he's coming with an innocent mind. So that baby isn't a threat. And then the homosexual, unfortunately, you know, black men, as we see it today, you know, isn't perceived as a threat. Now, again, I'm not saying, I agree with what you're saying when you said that, the descriptive of it, but I feel like it's a broader, you know, aspect. I feel like we've become characters in this real life movie based on what has been put in and what we've been fed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I agree with you. That image has been put on us because we don't control our media. You know what I'm saying? So but at the same time.
But do we supposed to control our mind? That's where it gets deeper.
Yeah,
so we're allowing the media to control us, but that's what these conversations are for, to stop allowing the media to control you and allow your own free will, as I guess is the word.
Yeah. Allow your own free will. And that's my next point, even though that has been imposed on us, but it's in our hands now to change the narrative, because we have black directors, which we have been making efforts to doing that. We have been more conscious of how we portray ourselves. You know, it's still some of us that fall into the Sambo trap, you know. Yeah, there's still some of us fall in that Sambo mouse trap that you can see that is kind of cooning, you know, especially a guy, you know, a famous short chocolate brother that always moving around in Hollywood. I think we all know his name. Start with a K and end with a heart.
Oh yeah. But it's so funny, just what you were saying. Now I want to go a little deeper when you were just saying that, because if we're really candid, if we're really, really candid, and we're saying, well, we need to build our communities up and we need to do this and we need to unify. If I'm candid and completely honest, I don't want all of us to unify, because all of us don't qualify for the unity. That's that's my issue with black people. Just because you this, that don't mean you qualify to be on this movement. Now let me see who this is. Hold on. It has to be a number that I don't. Hold on one moment.
Okay.
Hello? This is she. Hey, I'm gonna have to call you back, Mr. G. I'm gonna have to call you back in about an hour, okay? All right. All right. I ain't gonna say what I want to say. I'm saying ninjas.
Yeah.
On the job. Now you want to call late at night to want, you know what I'm saying? But what I was saying is, if I'm really candid, and I'm one that I've had my own shortcomings, and I had to be really candid about it. And even when I look back on when I was in my worst state, should nobody who was living a righteous life want to be around me, and I can live in my truth.
Yeah.
So why would I say I want unity? See, that's where we black people fall short. We're not realizing what we're saying. We don't want unity. You know why we don't? Because when we get a little money, we don't live in the hood. We moved out of the area where we might get robbed. Excuse me if you see green. I've been eating candy on my tongue. We move out of that neighborhood. You know why? Not because we're not familiar with that neighborhood and we love it, because we don't want nobody to rob us. You understand what I'm saying? We don't want nobody to have first dibs on what's going on. So do we really want unity? No, we don't, Black people. Let's stop lying to ourselves. What we want is we want like-minded people who are like ourselves to come together and then to be able to present. It's not saying we're going against, I don't even like using the narrative of going against white people anymore. I leave them out of it because right now it's about us being accountable for individual things. We can't be unified. If I don't call my own personal mess out, you call your individual mess out. John, Jane, Sally, it's an individual thing before it becomes collective. And I think that's where a lot of us fall short. Black Lives Matter lady didn't do nothing wrong. She didn't want to be around no niggas. Yeah. And that ain't saying nothing wrong with them, but I live in the hood. You know where I live, Dwayne. It's nice area, but it's really the hood, if I'm quite honest. Do you understand what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, even when I go to my hood stores, there are certain stores when they standing out there, I ain't going in there. So I can't I'm being candid. I love my people so much. But do I want all my people to come along? No, because all of them ain't ready. When I was at a point, when I was in my low vibrational state, why should I bring my mess into somebody else's space when they're trying to live righteous?
Yeah. That is a main key point. Not everybody's ready for the journey.
We include everybody. Oh, if they got a little speck of black, and they black. And then we want to include anytime we see something going on the news. Oh, they did this or that because they black. No, call a spade a spade. What about? I just got through seeing 2 news stories the other day up in Washington D.C. A black mother of a 2-month-old baby threw the baby away in the land.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, and then another black dude. She was a white Caucasian woman with a black dude. She ain't known him but 3 months. She let him keep the baby while she went to Colorado and visit the baby. He done beat the baby to death, killed the baby because the baby peed on himself. I can't tell nobody how to be a parent because I did some flawed stuff, myself as a parent. But I'm gonna say this: do we want all those people in our community? This is called a spade. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everybody want to say they did this something. I get it. As a whole, we're gonna love our people. But if we ain't got the tenacity and we don't got the gall to call somebody out, that's not being aggressive. I said this the other day. I hate when people use the term aggressive. Me and my daughter just got through having this conversation not even 5 minutes before I came on air. I don't like the term aggressive. You might not go about something the same way I do. I can get that, but aggressive mean a physical fucking act. And I don't care how hard I talk. I don't care how hard my talk might seem or appear. If I'm not being physically aggressive or threatening you, you cannot call me aggressive. You can just say you don't like the tone that I said it in and it's hurt some within you. But we haven't got to a space as individuals in our own community to be able to do that. I still struggle with that. You think I want Ray over there, them who over there robbing just because they black, be part of the movement? Hell no. If Ray and them gonna use their skills of robbing to switch that skill set that they got up to make it righteous, to be a bodyguard or security in the movement, then I don't need Ray to be a part of it. Because Ray is not here. See, we looking here. And we giving everybody a pass. Everybody don't deserve a pass. And that's as candid as it is. People they're gonna act like they don't understand what I'm saying. But if your black ass ain't living in the hood and you got a better job and you ended up moving to another side of town, then I'm talking about you. Just that simple. Look at all the black activists and advocates. Do they live in the hood?
No.
Are they wrong?
I don't see them as wrong. I don't see them. I don't see them as wrong. But so it is one point. But it is one point though. At what point though? Because where would the change start? Because when we do live when we do live amongst each other, right? And when we do shop in those black locations, those black stores, we're circulating the black dollar, which does build us up economically. But now I get it. In the past, we did that because we was more on a togetherness as far as with our people. Now we are more on an individualism now. But at some point, though, I do feel like we have to kind of get back to doing that. But now, whether if it's, I don't know. What's up? What's up, Tawana?
He said, I don't know.
Well,
Well,
no. I'm saying like I don't know if you know. I can say this: it's an awakening with us now. You know, we're having more of these discussions. More people are turning to alternative news sources. More people are evolving and awakening, right? And so I think I think this is like the precursor to where we could actually have a Wakanda one day.
I don't see that at all. I don't have that faith.
Man.
And I'm for my people. And I used to be one that
Yeah.
was like, this week, if I'm candid, no, no, I do not see it. And the reason why I say I do not see it is because everybody, just because they got this skin tone, don't mean that they qualify to be in Tawanatopia. Then
I agree with you. I agree with you. We first got to see what their mind is, but I'm talking about in terms of the future, though, Tawana.
I don't
Because
see it. I don't see it. I really don't.
I think the youth. No, I'm not talking about this generation, but a little bit generation further though.
He said a little
Because
further.
you got yeah. I'm not talking about nothing quick now. You know what I'm saying? But just I came across so much black people that are awakening now. You know what I'm saying? And they're young, and I feel like that they will leave the seed and it will increase. I feel like this is a change. I feel like with everything going on, I feel like it's a change.
I'm gonna say this, and I agree because, and I told you this the other day. The young people have access to knowledge, but they haven't lived long enough to know how to implement that knowledge to execute it into wisdom. So the shit that they're doing is just some shit that I would have did if I had the internet 20 years ago. It's the shit my daddy and them did when they was in the Black Panther movement. It was just a bunch of like-minded people on a quick movement, right? You know, right then and there. It just didn't have the young people have access to the knowledge, but they have not have the lived experience to know how to implement that knowledge, to know when to use that knowledge and when it's applicable. So to me, it's still a fucking failure. Because what's the use of having the knowledge and not knowing how to apply the knowledge and when to use it? It's just like having, you know, I saw somebody said earlier today, it's just like them not wanting no iPhone. Yeah. You know, Apple and Eve, they stick to an Android because Apple and Eve had an Apple, and that's what fucked up the world. You know, if you want to be religious, you understand what I'm saying? So it's some things that's just not gonna flow. It's just not gonna flow, and I get that. So, and again, it's not saying a right or wrong. It's just here we want to give different perspectives. You know, I'm not wrong. Dwayne not wrong. You know, it's just us giving different perspectives on that. But I don't believe, I'm just being honest. I used to I don't believe that we gonna be that kumbaya, because you have to look at this, Dwayne. This is another aspect. You're saying we got to unite. Yeah. That sounds so good in theory. That sounds just like them policies that when you and I work, the agencies that we contract for, them policies on paper sound real good.
Yeah.
Don't they sound good?
Yeah.
But in the real world, are those
policies
like
the golden dream?
Are they? It's all a sugar-coated dream. So I'm gonna say this: what you're saying, Tawana, yes, we can do this. We can get back to Wakanda and ya and Wakanda and all that. Okay, sounds good in theory, but how are we gonna even get there? But how are we even gonna get to that when we can't even get black women and black men to even connect on how to co-parent a fucking child?
It starts with the seed, Tawana. It starts with the seed. You thinking right now You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying it's gonna happen right now, but you be
But where the
powerful.
seed,
Gotta have the
but where the
faith of the
seeds are being
mustard
planted?
seed.
But where the seeds are being planted?
Okay,
Where
okay,
show me some tangible seeds being planted.
okay,
Being planted.
okay. So tangible seeds is getting planted with the new young people that's waking up. Yeah, it may be considered a fad and all that, but this whole woke conscious stuff, and yeah, a lot of people are using it as a fad. But just because it's being used as a fad doesn't mean it can't be used positive in a positive way to incite change and self-development in a person. So if someone's like, hey, I'm gonna get into crystals and meditate just because it's a fad, okay. But they start doing it, then they actually start feeling better. They actually start liking it, right? So I'm saying with this whole new wave is bringing a lot of new ideas, new concepts, new this and that. And I'm saying it's planting the seed, it's planting a mustard seed, and through time, through water, yes, the youth, we still need to grow in wisdom and learn how to implicate this, yes. But while we're growing and while we're having kids, we're teaching those lessons, and I believe that seed keep being planted because I see so much people my age and even younger, and they have these new ideas, and it just seemed like a big shining light because you have all these people with these new ideas that's trying to change things, that's thinking in a different way. You
And
know what I'm saying?
I can agree to the, what's the word I want to use? The innovative minds of the youth. I can totally agree to that. And I'm not saying this from a place because I'm older. I'm definitely not saying this from a place. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say this. I am on one scale, but it's not because it's the youth. Because I've learned so much. Told my daughter a couple of days ago about a training I was telling you about. I was training on a training I was on last week that kind of empowered me so much from young people giving their perspective. So I definitely get that we can learn from everybody. But what I hear when I hear you say that, I'm not saying you said this is what you said, yeah. But what I hear is a bunch of young cats who got access to the internet, who can watch a bunch of videos like this one that we're doing and 10,000 other ones, and then put their own talking points on it, but not live that. And then when real life hits their ass, are they gonna make all this meditation? Are they gonna make that shit applicable in real life? I can sit here and we meditate and we do that. I got a little room up there with crystals and all that. But when real life hits, am I cognitive enough to know every time when I'm in that low space to go and meditate? Come on, man. Let's live in the real world. I'm gonna go ahead with logic tonight, my brother. And I get it. It's not saying that. But until they live, I got a son right now think he knew everything. Well, mama, this is what it say in the law. But when this shit apply in real life, it's totally different. You got the knowledge, Negro, but you don't got the wisdom to know how to apply that knowledge in a real life fucking situation. So to me, it's a gap in there. And I'm not saying I'm not saying it's not great. They're finding these things out, but are they truly gonna live it? Is it longevity?
Are they gonna keep
going for like the Energizer Bunny?
You keep it going.
They can't just do it, because if they do it, guess what's gonna happen? It's gonna be the same thing like the generation before me, the generation what I'm in, it's gonna be the same repetitive thing. It's just gonna be a new age fad, a new Black Panther movement, a new BLM. It's a new whatever. It's just the youth are incorporated. Why you think they got so much knowledge, like you say, shining bright? Do you actually think they're picking up fucking books, Dwayne? Come on, man. Do you actually think they're picking up? And listen, and this is one thing I don't do. I don't like to say not everybody, because when you say not everybody, you lose the argument. That's one thing I don't do, because we already know everything don't apply to everybody on no scale, no matter what it is. And when you say not everybody, what you're doing is negating the fact it is an issue with some of the bodies. So for me, like, how? And it's not saying that the young people aren't bringing something to the table. I definitely don't want to I'm looking at my food, seeing my food arrive. I definitely don't want to negate what they bring to the table because again, they're innovative. Not all of them are not reading. You know, I got a daughter up there who's very inquisitive, likes to read actual books. But at the same time, how many are actually doing that? How many? How many? I ain't gonna even put it on the young people.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it on my generation. How many people like me who done live life and know life that kicked us in the ass? When we look at our children, we can look at some of the things we should have done better. When we look over life, we look at some of the personal relationships we've been where we might have burnt our own bridges, but then we look back and say, I'm in a woosah place now. My 50-year-old ass ain't even in a woosah place now. Life is great. I'm able to balance now. So you know, it's for me. I get it. I get what you're saying, but for me, it's one of those theory things in paper. Because if you're coming into this light, 25 years old. I got so much knowledge about my ancestors, crystals, the universe, because I looked at 5,000 videos. But then when you're at 27 and real life hits you, you lose your job, you get put out, and all this and that. How are you going to make that applicable in the real life, in your real situation? How are you?
Well, first I'll say a lot of people, it depends on them. It depends on them if they take it seriously. It all depends on them and how they can implement those, you know, through that space. You learn about the power of your thoughts. Now, whether they're going to actually try to actually sit down and redirect every negative thought and actively focus on a positive thought while taking the action to get a better job, going online and Indeed and still applying, then afterwards thinking, hey, you know, hey, I'm going to get a job tomorrow, or I'm going to get a new job is coming. Because the power of thoughts, as we know, is real. So it's them applying it in the real world is going to be the ultimate test from everything they learn. Now, some of those videos is people's own interpretation, their own perspective. Sometimes you can still gain knowledge from it. Sometimes it might just be straight out bullshit, you know. But I would like to think, of course, it all depends on everyone, but I would like to think that just being on the path will let them actively seek out more.
Okay.
You know, actively let them seek out more. And then when they get that information, actually try to apply it. I mean, that information is in the spiritual, it is in like the astral, then they got to convert it and put it in the physical realm. Okay.
I hear you on that. I hear you. I mean, I understand it. It's just that I'm not completely there with having that mindset of thinking that. And I think everybody is in a place to where we can grow and evolve. So I'm not saying people can't grow and we can't learn from anything. I'm definitely not saying that. If I can be candid again.
Yes.
If the internet was out 20 years ago, I'd be a fucking millionaire too, selling you a dream of hope through the internet, getting donations and cash apps. So to me, it's been bastardized again. So if I could get up here and sell you stay woke and all this and that, and it's making me money, how genuine is that? And then you got all these people under you who thinking that you genuine with it, but it's really about a poverty pimp. You're raping the pockets of the people, and you're not even fucking being genuine. So you're destroying them even worse. So by you saying this big old light that you got shining ain't nothing but a fucking train at the end of the tunnel finna run you over. It ain't the light that you think it is. It's a train finna run your ass over. That's how I see a lot of them. It's a lot of content creators that I've started out listening to them, and then by 2 weeks in, I'm saying they poverty pimping. They only want. I mean, if you're gonna donate to a person, I get that. Because every platform, anybody who's doing something, their time is valuable, content, mics, all that. Yeah. So I get that. And some people do this full time. So if it's full time for them, I got somebody that I donate to. Tommy Sotomayor, you already know that. Faithful, I donate to him. He can get all my check. He not all of it, but he can get my check. Because I learned from him. He can. I donate to him faithfully. There's another content creator. I donate to her, not as much, or whatever. And I can be honest, I can live in my truth. I donate to her, but I kind of see now it's starting to be more of a poverty pimp thing, even though they do it full time. So when I start feeling like that, I'm kind of reserved. But to me, they may be putting out, let's stick together. We can be Wakanda again. Let's unite. But ultimately, we don't want to unite. The people even telling you that they want to unite, they lying to you. They don't, because they don't want to live next to the thug bus who raping 2-year-old girls. So if we're candid with ourselves, we don't want everybody included, and we need to stop being so sensitive with stuff. The shit that really is like we need to speak on, we tiptoe around it, and we want to make everything else okay. It's like, okay, don't speak about the LBG community, but I can call you a nigga all day long. That ain't cool.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? If something is not right. I was on a Zoom call earlier. True story. If I had to be on it at 5:30. Same thing that's going on with Angela Stanton right now. I don't know if you know that. She has a son who was born a son. She the mama who birthed her son out her body. He identifies as a transgender woman now. I totally agree with her. I was with her way back when everybody else was hating on her when she was for Donald Trump because she's a black Republican. I'm totally for her. I'm totally for her. You can't tell me, either one of my children that I gave birth to, you can't tell me what to call them. Even if they want to go and change their name and say they something else, I know what I birthed. Yeah. So to me, even though that's a household situation, you understand what I'm saying? It's a household situation. I don't even think it should be out in public how it is, but since it is a topic of conversation. They'll get mad at that lady for that by her own household situation, but they won't get mad about us calling each other, downrating or either reducing each other to our gender. A woman got a fat ass and a man got a strong back. Like, that's how we think of each other. That's really how we think of each other. And we're saying unity. I don't see it, bro. I just don't. I'm not saying I don't see great strides. I'm not saying that there aren't people who are doing some dynamic things that, continue to give me hope. But just as a collective, I don't. You got too many women who got access to government money as single mothers that they ain't finna let the man in, because then they got to give up their HAP, their Section 8, their food stamps, they all of that. I wouldn't get a shit up neither if you're just being candid. What they're doing is they're asking you to put your faith in the black man, black woman, the same black man that you want to protect you so much. Put your faith in him and build together. But guess what? The average black woman ain't gonna do that. You think she's gonna move out her apartment if you just say you meet someone right now, she's in public housing or whatever, getting food stamps and all that, and you say, I really love you, I'm finna go and get this house, move in together. Let's move in together. She gonna come and shack up with you, but she ain't finna give up her apartment. So she don't have faith in you. How the hell you gonna unite? How? How will come gonna happen?
Yeah.
How?
I'll say we have to use the skill of discernment. Only those that have proven themselves, those that want to change, as long as they got that will. We're gonna have to use discernment and work with those individual people for we can build. The same people that think the same. And I believe it's gonna happen in small circles. I believe it's gonna happen in selective families, but I personally believe in time it will grow. And I feel like that's the seed, the skill of discernment. Now, the other people who ain't on it, maybe in time, because we create change through ourselves. Right. So we got a small group. If we got a small group, collective blacks black people that's thinking, that's saying, that's trying to build, that's trying to destroy these toxic cultures. Destroy some of these toxic ways. We ain't gonna get everything right in our lifetime. But as long as we get majority, they might see that and may want to be interest now, or they may not. But I feel like we're going to have to use discernment. It's going to be a separation. It's going to be a separation from the individuals that want to evolve, that want to be about growing and elevating and motivating and educating, from the people who are already too caught up in the system. Is already too brainwashed that don't want to, hey, not everybody going to make it to heaven. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really valid, point right there. And I agree with you on that point right there. I think that I'm not saying that we can't be forward moving or anything like that. It's just for me, I don't even look at the big picture anymore because there's so many, like it's a step, like a ladder. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's a step, and it is not even a step for, well, this community got to do this, or it could be a group of people doing this. For me, it has to start with Tawana first. Even if I'm amongst a group of people, my input ain't shit if I'm not dealing with Tawana's shit first. And if I'm not honest with Tawana's shit first. And I also think that we got to become more open to different personalities, different perspectives, and different ways that people present. Just because a person is soft-spoken, I'm one of those. I always say, well, I need a person to say it with their chest. I got to get out of that. I've learned so much from soft-spoken people. One of my best friends is very soft-spoken. Hold on one moment. I think my food is here. Continue talking.
Okay. Yeah. So we have to change that perspective, learn from different people with different perspectives. The people who are so-called weird out there, they bring a different perspective. We got to at least be open to hear it. We don't got to take everything. You ain't got to take everything. You may disagree with what me and Tawana are saying. Take what Renaissance in your spirit. Take what you feel is right. And that's what you got to use, that discernment and your intuition to do it. Because at the end of the day, we all about elevating. And I feel like the change starts with us. The change starts with us. We can't be at this space talking about what white people doing, this and that, because at the same time, we are going to face some of these systems if we don't change within ourselves. Be the change to motivate the generation. Be the change to motivate the youth to do an even better. And I know that's harder said than done, because I work with kids younger than me. So I know that's kind of harder said than done, but if you change one person, if one person is willing to make that change because of your actions, then you have already won. You've already won. You already reached that success. You have already reached that success. So, huh?
That's okay. I said you a that's okay. It's not
Yeah. So peace and love. How's everyone doing? Is everyone feeling the discussion? Are y'all feeling it? Like, let us know. Comment down below if you feel it. Subscribe if you feel the vibe. Let's get it. But yeah. So, what is y'all opinion on this? Was you that intellectual, that so-called nerdy guy or a girl, and you didn't get respect and you was told you wasn't black enough? Did it cause some inner pain within you? Because I know it did that for me. I know it did that for me. But self-healing, gotta address that. Because the world's forever changing, and all that nerdy stuff that was viewed as nerdy now, a lot of that stuff is cool now. So you got the same people who was teasing you about it. Now they jumping on the wave. They jumping on that same bandwagon now. So you got to be willing to realize that you was an innovator, that you was willing to be yourself amongst people who was programmed just to act one way. Okay, Tawana, I see you back.
Yeah, and I'm mad because they didn't get my order right.
Oh, what you got?
paid $61 and I ain't get part of my order, and then gave my $8 tip.
Oh,
you know I'm finna clown. I'm sorry,
God.
y'all. Y'all know I clowns about mine.
Yeah.
Bear me 1 second. The whole item, both of them. I ain't getting neither one of them.
Yo, like we got to talk about how customer service just totally went down in the shithole like one of these days. You know, customer service. I don't know what, like 2000 and what, I noticed it like 2016.
No, I'm gonna tell you what happened. I'll tell you what happened. This lights of knowledge that you speak of, the internets, everything's accessible. You can get what you want, all this knowledge, but it's lowered the quality. That's what's happening. $61. The only thing I got is a side salad and a grilled salmon with dirty rice.
For $61?
Yep. Our place that I took you to. The place that we went to.
Oh, yeah. I did. You must have got more than that.
No, I should have had more than that, but that's all they sent me.
God.
Yep. I'm sorry, guys, about that, but I got to get my refund.
Yeah. I really
hate the fact that I wanted the food because I wanted me some crawfish.
Oh, so they even put those crawfish. God.
Oh, they're giving me back $38.72, so I can take that.
Okay, good.
All right, good. So I'm sorry, guys, but yeah, I can agree with what you're saying. I just feel like we've come. I feel like it's such a big detachment from where we want to be based on what we're displaying, if that makes any sense. You understand what I'm saying? I feel like we're far from the spectrum.
Yeah. When we look at the overall mission, I mean the overall destination, I realize we have a lot of middle ground that we have to cover. We have a lot. I think this period is just the awakening. People coming into new knowledge, and then they're finding out what they're going to do with it.
They're going to make $1 off of it. They're going to poverty pimp like Derrick Jackson's. That's what they're going to do. When they found out, oh, somebody will listen to me because it sounds good. It's no different than what the pastor does on Sunday. Sell your ass some hope for $1. I'm giving you hope right now. I'm telling you. I'm serious. I'm serious. And I can respect people that do it full time. You understand what I'm saying? It's their job, but I'm just not with that. I mean, it's not saying that I don't believe in my people. I actually believe in my people. I just want us to be honest, because if we're honest, all of us ain't for it.
Yeah.
You got brothers who act like I'm gonna say this: the most woke brothers who claim they woke with these conscious platforms, the ones with the most biggest platforms that everybody love, who's so conscious, damn niggas is whoremongers. They whoremongers.
Yeah, I'm not gonna not disagree.
They're whoremongers.
Yeah.
They'll get on here on one post and telling you, and I'm not saying a person can't be multidimensional. I'm not saying that, because I always say I'm multidimensional. But on one thing, they're telling you to eat right and this, that, and the other, and how virtuous a woman should be, and they always talk about women should do this and women should do that. But you over there looking at popping pussy and shouter who got her leg bent over her ass, and then you mad. I mean, you can get the best of both worlds now if that's what you like. I'm not denying that. Yeah, but at the end of the day, you confusing people.
Yeah.
Because you say it's kind of like when I think of this, I think of Derek Jackson. That's what comes. I loathe him. I do not like that. I've never liked him. I always knew he was lying. He was just a handsome face that thirsty ass women thought. Because women this day and age, since you said we want to unite with this beautiful lights,
Yeah.
light of knowledge.
Yeah.
You know what this big old light of knowledge is? It's opened the door for people to be content with being side chicks. They know that man married, but they still chase after his ass. You know why? Because they don't give a damn. We don't care about unity. We don't care. How are we going to unite? We don't even respect each other enough in relationships to unite. Come on now. You talk. I want to talk about this beautiful Wakanda. Why I gotta be dead when it come? I'm doing the work now. I want to see Wakanda.
Yeah.
Why I gotta see when I'm dead and gone?
I want to see Wakanda too, but I just want to say it goes to discernment and accountability. They may be under that lifestyle, they may be claiming this and that, but their actions may not totally sync up, or their actions may eventually sync up to it too.
Right.
And two, if you're an individual and you're watching these people, you have to use discernment with the information they give you. Because not everything you may feel like, you don't have to agree with everything. And that was just what I was telling the viewers, use their discernment. I feel like if everybody used more of their discernment, we won't have too much of this happen. Use your discernment, like with the guy, like, okay, he's making a video with his shirt off. Okay, making a video with his shirt off, and he's talking about all this dating stuff. Okay, I get it. He's using his sex appeal to his advantage. All right. But a man will also kind of look at that like, is he really giving valuable content, or is he just giving shallow stuff just for views? So
I said it all the time with some women content creators, excuse me. It's this one chick who's always like fixing stuff and cooking, and the content is great, but she always half naked. So I'm like, you're really not showing the content, you're really selling ass.
Yeah.
When the brothers be out there with their shirt talking about they living in nature and they doing this and look at me and all that, I don't go for that. I'm gonna say this. I had a family member of mine a couple of years back. I'm serious. I'm gonna tell you this. I had a family member of mine a couple of years back, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. Girl, you need to look at Nature Boy, follow Nature Boy, this, that, and other.
Yeah.
This, that, and the other. I turned it on one time and looked at him. I said, oh, he handsome. I said, so that nigga pimping. That was the first thing I saw. Maybe it's me as a seasoned woman. Maybe it's because I done been played. Maybe because I done played a nigga before. I don't know. But I seen that, that nigga on that ain't real. That nigga finna get himself caught up. Here 3 or 4 years later, all this stuff going on.
Yeah.
And I asked my cousin, I said, you still following that man? Girl, no. I said, I told you back then. And it's not to knock him, because he did have some valid points. There are some things that man, even I'll say with Nature Boy, there's some things that he said that were great talking points. And he had validity, behind him when he said them. But do that make me follow him? Hell to the no.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of us this day and age, we don't know what discernment is. You're saying have discernment. They don't know what it is, because the only thing they're doing is looking at videos with this big old lights and taking talking points.
Yeah. I guess, yo, I'm not gonna lie. I got a couple videos with my shirt off. I got a couple of videos with my shirt off, and I'm making talking points. And when I did it, now I'm more of a chunky brother, so it wasn't for sex appeal. It was just I was feeling myself. Right. So I wanted to take off my shirt, and I wanted to speak and everything. But okay, discernment is basically you questioning the information, asking, can this content help me? Is it valuable for me? Can I actually use this? Or does it sound like a pile of bullshit? Because you will have some of the teachers now, right? And see, this is the clever thing. some of these teachers, some of these pastors, they will actually sell you and say some good stuff that is applicable to your life, but they don't give you the full book though. They only give you a little bit of knowledge. They don't give you the full book. And sometimes they will spew out the truth, but also mix a little bit of lie in there, and their life don't coincide with all that. So you see what I'm saying? And that proves, that point where you brought up with Nature Boy, some of his stuff that he talks about is definitely some validity to it. But he is pimping, he is essentially pimping. He has a pimp hierarchy, He has a pimp hierarchy.
But is he any different from a lot of these other cats? I'm finna call out another name. No. He ain't no different than Nature Boy, and a lot of people love him. Chakra Bars, he the same way. He probably worse than Nature Boy, because at least Nature Boy living his truth, to a degree. Chakra Bar, Mr. Fruit Man, Fruit Loops, something on Instagram. Him, Chakra Bar, him. To me, it's bastardized. Their movement has been. That's one of Tommy's words. Yeah. They watered down what the movement is. It's kind of like this. What you're saying about the Wakanda. People start out with these great ideas, but it always get watered down, or it gets a monkey wrench thrown in it, because somebody always comes in and do some side hustle or some backdoor talking or whispering in somebody's ear, and it never fulfills the prophecy or the destiny or the vision and what we envision. Go ahead and continue talking.
And that's true.
Your head off tonight.
And that's true. And that's definitely true, because but it all comes down to discernment, looking at that person, being able to ask yourself if this content is valuable, and take what you learn from them. You may realize, okay, this person may be total bullshit, all right, but is the information he giving off, is it true? Okay, I can still take that information. I don't have to support the guy, no, but I can still take that information and apply it to my life if I feel like it's right for myself. And that's what the discernment and the intuition comes in. Because you have a lot of these people that are using this movement and water it down. They are watering it down. Yeah. It's like a tricky balance. It's a tricky scale.
I'm sorry I keep jumping up. I hadn't eaten all day, so I'm trying to eat.
Yeah. Hey, I definitely understand.
Well, hey, my apologies about that. But yeah, so again, I don't think that the Stay Woke movement, I think it has its benefits like anything else, but I don't see it being an avenue for this great thing to make Black people propelled or unify or whatever this thing that we're trying to do. I just really don't see that. Excuse me. And I guess the reason why I'm saying that is I'm just looking around at the state. I look at individuals. You know what I'm saying? It can't be nothing collectively done until there's some individualism taking place and actions and accountability. That's why I named accountability. It's all about being accountable. We keep saying we want to unify. I'm going to say this. Who going to be the police in Wakanda? Or we don't need none?
That's where I guess we follow the path, and we take a look at our past. Because that was it was a good system where the Black Panthers, where they was policing their own community. Mm-hmm. But once again, our people was operating on a different mindset in that time.
Okay, and I'm gonna challenge you to every time.
All right,
this is good. You said, look at the Black Panthers, but who ultimately got each one of us killed? When every time was a movement for us, every time there was a progressive movement for Black people, who was the person that always made the movement get taken out?
It was a Judas. It was another black person
Who?
that was used.
Who?
Another black person. It was a Judas. It was another black person that was used against us. You know, the system is always going to do that, though. They're
So
always
let me
going
ask
to
you this.
use us
I'm
against
gonna
each
ask you
other.
this. If it's is it the system or is it that individual? That's why I keep going back to individual.
It is
It's
that
that
individual. It's that
Because if
individual
we
that
all-
decided.
We're doing this conversation right now. So just what we said, somebody's gonna hear this. Damn, let's do this. Let's unify. Let's do this. They hear what we're saying. It's always gonna be somebody that infiltrate us. Us gonna infiltrate us. They're hearing us say this, but guess what?
Yeah.
He's still gonna be the one to infiltrate the movement. So the system ain't got nothing to do with that. Just because they offer you more money or offer you this or offer you that, that's a you decision. They can offer you whatever, but that's an individual decision. So for me, again, it goes back to individualism. It's some stuff that we got to get out. We so caught up on making a. I feel like fast dollar has a lot to do with the stay woke movement. Half of them talking about stay woke. Yeah, they ain't lived enough to be. They ain't been woke enough because they young. They ass young. They still got Similac behind them, so they ain't even been. They still taking naps. So how in the hell they know what stay woke is? It is not minimizing what anybody has to bring to the table or their contribution or their mindset. I'm definitely not doing that. But there comes and I think when I was young, I felt that way until I've gotten older. You think that you can do everything. You think that what you're doing is so innovative. You learn so much, and what you know is what young people have access to now is no more than what I had access to. They just got it faster. See, I used to have to go to a library and look up an encyclopedia. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's really it's just faster access at the tip, but really they're not even doing the due diligence because they can look at this and whatever we say, they might even go research some of that. You know, they might just go off of of what we said and relay another talking point. When is that being progressive? It's not.
No, it's not being progressive.
Good, but it's not being progressive. It's not.
Yeah, it's not being progressive. They're not doing their own homework being behind it. I do agree with that because that's just following it. That's just following. That's not being a leader. It's not internalizing if this is applicable, and if this is true.
So to me, we have a generation of followers, not leaders. So that's why I say to me, it's almost, I can't envision that Wakanda, what you're talking about. I can't even envision it 20 years from now.
You bring up some hard facts, Tawana. You bring up hard facts. You do.
You know where I get that from?
Okay, what's up? Where you get that from?
Logic-based Tommy Sotomayor.
I still hold on to my mustard seed, to my faith, because if one person could make the change and be like, I'm going to be an individual, I'm going to stand by my truth, I'm going to internalize, and I'm going to, do my due diligence, then that doesn't mean the other person can't. And if you only have a few people that change could make a big difference.
I agree. I'm just trying to envision there ain't gonna be no Wakanda. I'm just gonna say that. It sound good. It's like them policies again. It's not gonna be a Wakanda. It's just, and I don't want to dampen nobody's spirit or their goal or their dream. In order for it to be a Wakanda, that means that we got infrastructure, right?
Yes.
That means we got educational systems in place, correct?
Yes.
That means that we have our own economic systems in place, correct?
Yes.
That means that we have our own way of fueling, feeding, watering, all of those things, all those things under the umbrella of our Wakanda, correct?
You're right. You're right. You're right.
So only thing I challenge you is to find me, and I'm gonna include me and you up in there. So I ain't gonna even say find me 5. I'm gonna say find me 3 more people who willing to go and do a Wakanda right now. Let's take our resources, the little money we got, buy a strip of land. Let's plant a garden. You know, let's build a couple of houses, tiny houses on that, strip of land. You know, let's make sure that we put some money all together, 5 of us in the pot. All of us got to put X amount of dollar in because we got to build our infrastructure. Me and you, I know you, you know me, and 3 other people.
Yeah.
We're going to start small. I don't even want to put it on the grand scale. Let's start small. What are going to be some of the barriers, if any?
Money management, making sure everyone is on the same plane. If everybody's willing to sacrifice as much as possible. If everybody is, we're going to have to tackle some. We're going to have to tackle some stigmas and stuff because we're used to a quality of life and we want that quality of life. So that's going to be a big barrier.
Damn.
Yeah. That's going to be a big barrier.
You think that
that quality of life.
So we didn't ain't finna take off her purple wig and stop twerking to Megan Thee Stallion just to come over here and unite. She rather get on Facebook and say, police ain't shit, stop killing George Floyd. That's her way of unifying. Her way of unifying ain't doing what we talking about. Shaquita is not gonna take off her purple and pink wig and stop fucking twerking. Just what the most she's gonna do is post and say F the police, and that's about it. That ain't gonna help Wakanda.
Yeah. I feel like it's not. It's not.
But she's one of the ones who looked at those videos because she's young with this lights of knowledge. But her knowledge is not applicable to understand what you're doing right now. I was young. I didn't realize certain stuff I did in front of my kids was a violation. So it ain't like I'm telling nobody something. I'm telling you from a place of, I want you to be able to, wisdom is learning from somebody else's mistakes so you don't do the same. See, that's what young people fail to do. They think when somebody older is telling them something, oh, they old, they played out. No, it's the same fucking soup that it was 15 years ago. It's just warmed up in a different bowl. It's still being different bowl. It's still bean soup. It's still the same soup that it was 15 years ago with the same ingredients. It's just in a different bowl, heated up today. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. But for some reason, there's this disconnect. So until, we can't even co-parent right. I'm thinking of myself. I got 2 adult kids. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to talk to their baby. I don't want to talk to their daddies. Even though that's something within me that needs to be fixed. See, I can call it out. See, somebody else, even though they're grown, that's still a flaw. That's a flaw. That's a character flaw. That's something I still have to deal with. So as much as I can talk about unity, how I'm gonna talk about unity, but then I only want to talk to my baby dad is when shit have to talk to them because they hurt me. That's not fair. See, we got to call ourselves and we don't want to do that. We want to sugarcoat around shit and act like, oh, no. I cannot unify with nobody else because I still got some individual. It might be a little quirk, but still, if I can't unify with this one that I laid down with and had a whole life, how in the hell I'm gonna unify with somebody I don't know? Let's be honest.
Someone you don't find. Yeah.
Come on now. I ain't even gonna tell nobody that. That's why I come. I got some issues. I still got to work. Is it all on me? No, it's not. But I can admit a role that I play in it. So I ain't finna tiptoe around and act like no, it's your everybody. It's some role that I got to play in it. I can't say that I want to be unified, but then it just irks me and make me trigger to talk to my kid father? Is it a reality that I get triggered? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, if I'm really preaching this thing about this is what I want to be, then that's some shit that I got to work through to be able to do this thing that we trying to do. And that's law. But people don't want, everybody ain't gonna call their shit out like how I call mine out.
No.
They'll seem pretty. You know, they just gonna say that baby dad ain't shit. See, that's how black women do. He ain't shit. Well, I'm a little not shit too then. You know, shit attracts shit. You know, that's, I mean,
yeah.
You know, so I'm not gonna sit here and just beat on one side. It's some accountability that I have to look at. So I can't see the Wakandas because I'm looking on a little scale. I'm looking at the small things that I see in society every day, riding down the street. You know, I can be at a stoplight or whatever, and I look over to the apartments and they playing WAP or Pop That Pussy, and it's a mama out there who 21 years old who got her little 2-year-old baby out there popping her pussy. So for me, I don't see Wakanda. I see Magic City. That's what I see. I don't see Wakanda. I see Magic City. Because it's how am I gonna, even though that same 21-year-old might meditate, wear crystals. I'm gonna say something else that's perverted. The most crystal women, dread wearing, those type of women. Like I said about the men, those type of women, those be the whores. That spirit of trying to reinvent themselves. Not saying nothing wrong, can't nobody be reinvented. But what they've done, they're pimping the movement. They're pimping the movement. The young pharaohs. They're pimping the movement. I ain't saying they don't give good information or whatever, but when it become about $1, then how can we get Wakanda when we giving all of the money to the people who, I mean, think about what I said with the you, I, and 3 other people. Look how difficult that'll be.
Yeah, that'll be real difficult. That will be real difficult.
I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying, look at how difficult it's going to be. Look how difficult it will be to get 5 people, you and I included in that 5, to do just what I said. It will probably take us 5 years for all of us to finally be on board to make a fucking move. And that's just 5 people. So you can't tell me all of us gonna unify and be on one corner.
No. It's only gonna be the people who's willing to make that journey, and then this is something to me that would take generations.
And how is that gonna look? Are white people not gonna be there?
White people are gonna be there.
Because when you say Wakanda, my mind thinks to them. And I can live my truth. I've never even looked at the Black Panther movie. I looked at maybe 15 or 20 minutes of it. It was boring to me in the beginning. I couldn't get into it. So I can't tell you really what happened in the movie. I don't know. What I seen in the end kind of looked cute, the city or whatever. But to me, what I gather, it was empowering Black people. So it was like a black, everything black, right?
But it was owned by white people. Yeah.
So why in the hell would we want a Wakanda when our asses in the Wakanda right damn now? What's the difference? What's the difference? That's weird.
Well, the vision of Wakanda, though. The vision. And
I'm gonna say
it something else. We call it something else because Disney owns it.
I don't like that. I don't like that, the vision of, because the vision of is what gets us fucked up. They'll sell you a vision of something that you think you're getting, and it's not that. So that's why I don't like the vision of. Is it gonna be fucking Wakanda or not? That's how
it could be something different. It could be something. I'm saying we got to first envision it before we could at least figure out the ways how to create it. And I ain't saying it's gonna be a utopia. I mean, I'm not too clarified on it, but West Africa had their battles.
Are thugs going to be there?
I believe a lot of former guys who was thugs. I mean, if they change their perspective, I mean, because you got to think about it. Jail is either a concentration camp that makes someone more of a criminal, or a pivotal point that they've changed their whole life. There's a lot of people who changed their whole life after jail.
I'm one of
And
them.
they actually did the work. Yeah. Yeah. Because jail forces you to actually go within yourself if you use it correctly.
Sorry, I'm smacking this salad. It's so good.
I don't know. Hey, I'm with you. I'm with you.
But I think that's. I wish I had time to pull up that clip where you showed me about Carson. I think that was a really good point. I don't even think we really got into it yet about being black enough. We kind of deviated off of it, but about being black enough. I think that's another point. What makes us black enough? What identifies us? It's kind of like when we think back to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Carson was considered the nerdy, kind of how you describe yourself, nerdy. He wasn't black enough. He didn't fit in a certain way. But I want to flip that. The very thing back then when people were saying that Carson wasn't black enough, that's the way niggas acting now. They trying to be white. Think about it. They're living their life they trying to live where the Carsons fucking live at now.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I think logic only now. I'm not finna argue with nobody. It's logic only. If Carson wasn't black enough back then, that means these niggas who walking around talking about they woke, stay woke now, that means they're not black enough. If we're gonna use those standards, right?
Okay. Yeah. Everything they're doing is not correctly considered black. No. Yeah.
So none of us ain't black enough by that standard. None of us. All them, everybody who out here wearing the weave down, the blonde weave, she ain't black enough. She's not black enough. That's the way. That's how my perception would look at it. Ain't nobody black enough. If you trying to go live in Bel-Air, but you out here, Black Lives Matter, preaching about stop George Floyd, don't kill, whatever the young lady was, all that, you doing that, but you go live in a Bel-Air, you move to a Bel-Air, you're the very essence of the thing that we mocked 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't take us seriously. I don't take black people seriously. I love us, but I don't even take us seriously no more. I don't. The very thing, it's kind of full circle. It's like my granny used to say, ain't nothing new under the sun. The same clothes go out of the sun, come right back in. All this stuff is full circle. And it's kind of that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Are we black enough? What's the standard of being black enough? I don't even understand that no more. Because it's so perverse now. Do you understand what I'm saying? When you have a woman, when I see a woman saying, be black, young single women being black enough and protect black women, and we got to stand on our own, but you live in a Section 8 and you won't let your baby daddy see the baby, but you want to keep putting them on child support. I got an issue with that.
No, yeah. That's not, yeah.
I'm being honest. And it's not saying that she's a horrible person. Yeah, it's just do that define you as being real black woman because you put him on child support? Does that define him as being a real black man because he got babies and ain't taking care of them? Because society has perverted what we identify as being the standard.
Yeah.
Who's black enough this day and age? We let everybody in. Kamala Harris ain't black, but now she black. The little Chinese lady who won, I don't know whether she was a tennis player or whatever she was. First she was black to make y'all like whatever the sport was. Then when the Ward came out in the big paper, they let your ass know she was Japanese. She ain't got nothing to do with your black ass.
Yeah,
So
she played us.
yeah, you know. So, and you see how easy black people jump on those bandwagons. So
Yeah.
I'm saying, you saying discernment, but when I look around every day, it ain't none. It ain't none.
I won't say it ain't. Well, of course we already talked about that earlier. You know, you always have your exceptions, but that's just what I say. It's the exceptions that's going. It's the exceptions that's going to make the difference. But they're going to make small differences, though. Well, sometimes it may make a big difference, but is to each and everybody's individual self. Everybody's individual self, whether they're using accountability, whether if they're using discernment in their lives to say, does my ideas and my actions, does it align to what I'm trying to become? Some people are going to do it all the way. Some people are not going to do it.
Okay. I want to just what you said with that. And it's kind of, I'm finna go into something, but based on what you just said.
Okay.
Based on what you just said. The Kevin Samuel. Do you think he's progressive for our people? Take away this discussion that you and I had. I want you to use your own logic.
Yeah. Ultimately, some of his points, but as a whole, no, not from my path. I feel like Kevin Samuel is more about, if you're trying to play the Matrix, if you're trying to play, you know, if you're trying to be in that type of arena, then he's all for you, because he have gave well, his older videos have given a lot of knowledge as far as that. But I feel like he, yeah, I feel like he has a couple good points, but I don't feel like he's overall progressive for us. And that's my viewpoint. I don't feel like he's overall progressive for us. He do have some pretty good viewpoints at times, some good things that you could grow to, but I don't believe black people should. I believe we should, and I'm using the past because this would have worked if we didn't have an opposition that came and destroyed it. Now, not blaming anything on them right now, but I'm saying when we was doing Black Wall Street back in the day, you know, yes, that's something that was created in the past. That's something that we created, and it was a thriving civilization according to the records. But it got destroyed because of our opposition. So I'm saying that I believe and as far as Black Wall Street, everything, the black dollar was circulated. So that economic freedom, which they was able to build kind of like their own city. So I believe we could do that now. Basically, what I'm saying is I believe black people are better when they're not in corporate America. I believe black people thrive better when they're not dealing with corporate America. And Kevin Samuels is more corporate America.
I totally agree with that. No, that right there, I 100% agree. But let me put you the flip side on that right there. I agree with you. What you're saying, what I heard you say is we're more self-sufficient, and we're able to thrive when government is not involved to that degree.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pause. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. The average black person, real nigga or not, what we describe, whether they conscious or stay woke or they're hood nigga, most of us would agree that, yeah, government be trying to know too much of our business. Whether you're Democrat, Republican, conservative, what far left, most of us as African Americans, black, however you identify, melanated people would agree to that, right? I don't want the government in my business about child support. I don't want the government, women. I don't want the government in my business trying to get food stamps. So all of us can agree that most of us don't want the government in our business, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you don't want the government in your business, that means get your black ass off food stamps, get your black ass off Section 8, get your black ass off all these government subsidies, and let's get it from the ground up. Go put you a garden in your backyard and start like that. How many people are going to do that?
Yeah.
See, it's really simple. It's very simple for us to start doing it. If everybody who we know start planting some food in their garden, we can start feeding our own block.
Yeah.
Feed 2 or 3 of our neighbors if we just start a garden just by doing that. 2 or 3 of our neighbors. But they ain't gonna do that. Because what we're saying is we don't want the government in our business, but we don't want the government in our. It's kind of like this, like my grandma used to say, don't let a nigga come over to see you at night if he can't come see you in the daytime. So you don't want to walk around with the government in the daytime, but at nighttime you're gonna go and lay up with the government and let him bust your back out.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of confused with that standpoint, because when I hear that, that's what I hear. I hear, okay, I don't want the government in our business. We can do better for ourselves. Okay, then we'll get our food stamp. Let's stop needing this. Take your baby dad off child support and let that nigga move back in the house so y'all can co-parent and raise that child as a family, as a household. So that way it'll be more money in the pot. It'll be more for the community. It'll be more that we'll be able to, actually execute something. But how many people actually gonna do that now? Come on.
Yeah.
I'm keep telling you, shit sound good on paper. This is a policy and procedure. No, the policy and procedures do. The policy and procedures just sound good. I present it to you. You give me a fat ass check, and what I do is pimp the rest of I pimp the narrative. I ain't doing shit with the money. I'm just pivoting because it sounds good on paper.
I'm just pivoting because it sounds good on paper.
I don't think Kevin is progressive. I'll say this. I love Tommy Sotomayor to death. His delivery ain't always progressive. I'll say that. Yeah. I think that, and I ain't gonna even be biased. Is he always progressive? For me, with my mindset, what I take from it, I say yes. For me, every time I look at something, I take something away that I can make applicable in my real life. And it's always logic based. It ain't based out of feelings for me. So for me, when you take out the antics, I would say it makes me a progressive thinker. I ain't gonna even say a movement, a progressive thinker. That's what he does. I ain't gonna say it's a progressive thinker. Is the delivery always right? Hell no. Are there some things that, I feel like I would, follow through with, how, Tommy might explain it? No, that's where my discernment might come in. I ain't saying he wrong, but then that's where my own individuality comes in and say, well, even though I like everything what he say most of the time, this right here, and I think a lot of us aren't in a place to where people scared to challenge. I'm just gonna say it. It's like me, me at work. I don't give a damn about that job. I go to back, I ask some email question down like I don't care. I'm a problem to them. You know why? Because I open my mouth and ask questions. And see, that's what we are as Black people. We're gonna stay complacent, and we're gonna stay in a fake ass Wakanda that's owned by a white man. Even though we want our own Wakanda, it's still gonna be owned by a white man because everybody's gonna make you feel like you wrong when you do speak out. No. So we muted on one end, and then the other end we're extremists.
But we are changing the narrative because you have a lot more Black-centered newscasts and more Black-centered talk to where they're providing a different perspective and they're not shunning people.
What would you say?
Having a different perspective.
What'd you say?
I said like what we're doing right now. We're having is more of these that's out there now, where Black people they could talk and their perspective isn't shunned and looked at it from a logical, educated perspective, from a logical educated perspective. You know, I know on Boyce Watkins' channel, I listen to this channel quite frequently, and they don't have the popular opinion of mainstream. And you know, I like his content too. I'm biased to him, just like how you are with Tommy, just like how you are with Tommy Masoda. But I see how much I see how much people that's commenting on it now. I don't know if they're really doing the work within themselves. I only know what they're responding to. But what I'm saying is, I know that brother's doing something right because he's gaining a lot of support from black people.
Okay,
That's, you
pause,
know,
pause,
okay,
pause,
okay,
pause. And it's not me
okay,
interrupting you. When I hear that, this is one thing. It's always when you said earlier, it appears. Remember you said that, and I stopped you. It seemed
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Just like you said, he's getting a whole lot of traction. Who else is getting a whole lot of traction right now? Kevin Samuels, but this shit ain't genuine. It's not
Kevin
saying that Dr. Boyce Watkins isn't. Everything that's getting that. I'm gonna say it like this: how much authentic shit go viral for real? Authentic, real stuff that can build. How much art? I ain't talking about nobody who's already been in the limelight and they say something that go viral. I'm talking about some like a you authentic. I ain't talking about we out here shaking our ass, you know, doing no world star hip hop shit. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about real life, this and that. I ain't talking about nobody who already got a big following, 100,000 people, got a blue check. I'm not talking about that. How many times does a you or I resonate and go viral with real life content? Speak on it.
We never go viral. We never go viral.
So those type of people, it ain't for me. And it's not knocking it. It's just like you say, and I'm gonna use Kevin saying I ain't gonna even use Dr. Boyce Watkins because again, I do think that Dr. Boyce Watkins has valid points. I would definitely say that all of them do. So I'm not negating that. Yeah. But you say the numbers rising, black people taking to them. Black people don't know who the fuck we are, so we gravitate to any goddamn thing. So I ain't gonna go for that right there. Black folks was all on the goddamn WAP video, and all black people was twerking on the White House, singing WAP at the White House when Joe Biden got elected. So I don't take that shit seriously.
Yeah. I'm saying though, that's mainly the mainstream. Yeah, we got a lot of black people that's really caught up in the mainstream. But I'm saying, yeah, I don't know what these people are doing. You know, but I got to put the trust in somewhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I believe in the power of knowledge.
Right.
You know, for the knowledge seekers. Yes.
Why won't all the knowledge seekers, myself included, because I say this a lot, it's hard to work with other people. I see people who I feel like they're doing great things and I be wanting to link up with them and let's do this, that, and the other. But it's always something. And it might even be nothing big, but it's always something that stop it. So why can't the Boyce Watkins and the Kevin Samuels and the Tommies and the Corey Holcombs, the you know, whatever the black people that we feel like they're educating us to some shape, form, or fashion, why can't they all get together collectively and teach us something? Because wouldn't that be a powerhouse? Wouldn't that be like be. But why can't that happen? It's not designed for us to have Wakanda. It's not. The same system that owns the Wakanda is gonna keep putting the same brothers, even though all of them giving us the same fucking message. We'll sit here. I'm gonna say me first. I don't like Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I can't stand Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels saying the same shit that Tommy Sotomayor say. He regurgitating what Tommy says. I love Tommy Sotomayor. So how can I sit here and say I don't like, Kevin Samuels? See, that's some flawed stuff, but then I'm going to go further. I don't like his presentation. Yeah. So ain't that I don't like the man, I don't like his presentation. So I can get more specific with you. Ain't that I don't like the presentation. But even though I don't like the presentation, is he not still saying some valuable shit? And I can put my not liking his presentation aside and still work for the greater good. See, we don't do that. I'm guilty of it. We don't do that. We want to have the top spot. We want to be the top nigga to the white man. Yeah. Yeah. That's the only way I can word it. It's not me trying to be facetious, callous. It's not me trying to put anybody down. I just feel like, everybody want to be first nigga to the white man. The one that said, this my buddy right here. It's always white dude. I always got one, that's his,
Yeah.
we want to be that. And for me, that's why I say, I just don't see it. I'm so glad that you're hopeful. And I hope I go to sleep tonight and be able to envision that vision through your eyes, through my eyes tonight. But I just really don't see it. I just don't.
So what do you think will be, so what will be your solution then? Because in some shape or form, we got to rise up. I mean, because that's the whole purpose of this content. That's the whole purpose of us do what we do, and
I'm not saying that I have an answer. Of course, there's never one, just one isolated answer. But what I will say for me, one of the biggest things before I can even talk about a Wakanda and unifying is us being able to call out our own fucking shits. Us being able to call each other out. Me seeing you twerking in front of your 2-year-old baby with your ass out and inside of Walmart, I should be able to call your ass out, and it shouldn't be y'all ready to jump on me or y'all ready to fight or she in her business. Why she in? No, you should be able to call a young brother out when you going in the gas station. He just run up on you, don't know you from a man in the moon, say, I got that gas, Unc. You should be able to call his ass out and say, look, nephew, you don't know if I'm the police or whatever. And he should be able to receive that in a better way since they done seen this big old ass light and they young and they fucking enlightened. They know how to meditate. Ass should be able to take that and make it applicable and shouldn't get in their feelings. All of us walk around here with medicated cotton ball fucking soft. All of us. Myself included. I ain't gonna never put nothing out there that I can't include myself in. We medicated compound salt. We don't want nobody to say nothing to it. If it ain't our way, then they way don't matter.
Yeah.
We're not receptive. You understand what I'm saying? All of us are like that to a degree. I can call mine out.
Yeah.
See, that's why I say I'm gonna put mine out front because I don't want nobody to feel like you can tell me something to shame me. I'm gonna put mine out front. We just don't. We're not progressive in that way at all. Because if I go out right now and I go on Walmart, this is one of my biggest pet peeves. If I get up and go to Walmart open at 7 o'clock. Usually when Walmart opens, I'm usually there by 7:15, 7:30 when they open to go ahead and get in there and get out for everybody, come in there, whatever. I shouldn't see you half naked with some motherfucking boy shorts on and high heels, your face, titties out, ass out. You got a little baby with you, whatever, dragging him along like he a little dog with a leash on him or whatever. And you walk, how is that? My thing is, how is that progressive?
Yeah.
First thing somebody say, well, it's freedom of sexual liberation and all that. What the fuck does sexual liberation got to do with being progressive as far as us unifying and being productive and creating infrastructure? Are you gonna sell coochie your way? Sell so much coochie that we can buy a bank? Are you gonna sell so much coochie that you're gonna put a water system in the land? Are you gonna give so much head that you're gonna, now if that's the case, Bob, gotta get it. I get the camera out for you, girl. Yours a bad one. I don't see why we do
that. I see. Yeah. Like that's not going to yield any tangible, any tangible things to help us progress.
We are so, we don't know what we are. On Cascade, there's a restaurant called The Beautiful Restaurant. It's been in business almost 40 years.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, if you go in there, when you first go in there, they got a sign and they got a thing saying you can't come in there with your pants hanging down, sagging shit. Them old black women, they got old grandmas. If you've never been in there, they got them old ladies who tie them head scarves around their hair, all them orange and white, and they serve you. Some of them barely can walk, but that's the way they old school. It makes you humble. You're going to say, yes, ma'am, when you go in there. Make you think your grandmama when you go in there. They got that sign on the door. They had that sign before I even moved up. He used to come here. I know they had that sign for a good 12 or 13 years about that sagging. It's a black-owned restaurant. I'm gonna tell you why us black folks ain't shit when it comes to a degree. I love us, but the reason why I can say we ain't shit, that's why I can say it, because I love us. See, if I ain't love us, I wouldn't call out the bullshit.
Yeah.
We're going now, and we know most of us, even the young boys, I didn't see them going, they'll pull their pants because they know it's an old, respectful place, so they're gonna try to do right. But let that would have been a white establishment with that sign saying no sagging. First thing niggas will say is they racist. They ain't racist. They not racist. They just, I don't want to see your ass when I'm eating. Them old folks at Beautiful don't want to see your ass when you eat. They just don't want to see your ass when you eat. But see, we'll flip it and make them white folks, we'll say they racist, but they ain't racist. But see, if I would have come around and said, why y'all out here marching in front of these folks play? These folks ain't racist. You can't say, discernment should come in and tell their asses that's not racist. Discernment should have told black folks over the summertime last summer, you remember they were laying on the middle of 285 stopping the fucking traffic?
Yeah.
And you talking about fucking.
I remember that. I do.
And then I'm gonna say this, and people got mad because them white folks went to the fucking Capitol. Niggas, that's where you supposed to go. That's the fucking horse's mouth. That's the government's. When you have problem with the government, stampede governments. Was it unfortunate that some stuff happened? People lost their lives. Is it unfortunate? Yes. But if we're real with it, everybody keeps talking about this grand change. People don't want change because change gonna mean bloodshed, and niggas ain't ready to die for it. They ain't ready to die for it. They just want to get up here and do a few podcasts, make some positive ass posts and all that. They ain't ready to, they're not ready to lay down. They're not ready to lose their jobs. They're not ready to do that. They ain't ready to do that. They want to speak, but be coddled and protected while they speak. It ain't no fucking such thing. You either all in or you're all out.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You all in or you all out. You are all in or you all out. You can't play the sidelines. You can't play both sides. You can't serve two masters.
I don't see it. I just don't see it for us. I don't see it. We can't even call each other out on simple stuff. Stuff that we know ain't right. Stuff we know ain't right. It'll be flipped. We can't even step on these other brand new pair of J's walking by without one of us killing each other. But then we want to turn around and say the white folks killing us. I don't want to talk about what no motherfucking white people doing to us if I can't talk about what the fuck you doing to us.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah.
That's just the way I feel. If I don't want to live around some of us because how we act, why you think the white folks do what they gonna love their own first? And it's not making this a black or a white issue, but since so many black people, real black people, like to say, well, the white folks ain't bothering your motherfucking ass, not for real. They ain't bothering you. You bothering them. When you go and protest, instead of taking your ass down at a protest, you stand in front of police face, twerking and telling them fuck you and all that. If I was a police, I would leave. Y'all better be glad they're police, because you call me to your neighborhood, I'm gonna stand out there and let them do whatever the hell, because if I help your ass, you're gonna make me wrong. If I stand back, I'm wrong. So y'all gonna make it
you're still gonna be wrong.
Damn about you. And since we so pro black and want to unite, let them thug ass niggas in your neighborhood police, since they like to shoot and kill, let them be the security in the neighborhood. That's what they do anyway. They kill us. Yeah. Let them patrol the neighborhood. But see, I'm wrong when I say that. Oh, she coon and she ain't no. I'm the furthest from the coon. I'm for our people. I'm just telling you, in order for us to correct, we can't get nowhere until we correct individual behaviors and then community behaviors, things that we see in everyday life. We ain't gonna be no fucking Wakanda when you got somebody on your neighbor, when you got an uncle still raping all his little nieces in the neighborhood, but Big Mama said don't tell nobody. Don't tell them, because that's our family. How the fuck we gonna unite? We can't. We can't. We got real life trauma and stuff going on. All of us do. So it's not isolated. It's not saying nobody. I got it. I got stuff, trauma, stuff that got to be dealt with and healed. Family issues and stuff. All of us have it. But until we're willing to deal with that, most of us want to get on here and look good and tell a joke and breeze over the stuff. You got women out here with 5 or 6 damn kids by 5 or 6 different men. First thing they say, they the main one say a nigga ain't shit.
Yeah.
What that make you? I had to say that about myself. What that make you? You got 5 different kids by 5 different baby daddies. Ain't none of the nigga shit. You raising all 5 of the kids, but we study saying niggas ain't shit. But who raising those ain't shit niggas?
Who's raising them?
The single moms. That's another talking point.
Man.
How we gonna get Wakanda? How we gonna get Wakanda? You got black women walking up in black men's face, cussing them out on airports and stuff, and these men knocking their ass out. Yes, I have a certain tone when I talk and all that, but going up in a man's face, hell no, my little bit ass ain't number 5'3", even knock my ass out. certain things that you just don't do.
Yeah. There's some things you don't do. I mean,
we raping up babies, we raping the babies and stuff like that, but don't nobody want to talk about it.
Yeah.
We make videos of our kids on the video. You can go through the thing and see little 5 men and women making kids or babies talking gangster rapping rap songs and with pistols and twerking. But if you even comment and say that's inappropriate, you wrong. Oh, fuck you. You can't even. You see what I'm saying? So how are we gonna get them from? More like a fucking Gilligan's Island. That's what the hell we gonna get.
It may first start as a Gilligan Island first, and it starts with the people that change their family. I say this, at the end of the day, everyone, they can make a change to their family.
Right.
First start with yourself. If your whole family don't get on with it, which a lot of people's whole family ain't gonna get on with it. Nope. At least your intermediate family, you can teach those things to your seeds. Your seeds might implement them when they grow up, or they might not. It's a chance.
Right.
But that's all I can say. Start with your family first. Start with yourself, then your intermediate family. And you dictate how you want your family culture to be and how y'all go operate. So at least you can leave that family tree will at least adopt those new ideas and will be like that.
I totally agree.
Yeah. So maybe not trying to get Wakanda first, but no. Each and everybody's family try to get Wakanda.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
I like that. Now I can roll with that. Now, if that happens, I can see a Wakanda community per se. If that's the approach, if every household becomes their own individual, satellite Wakanda, then I can see a progressive Wakanda. I can agree on that. I can agree.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
I can definitely agree. So on that note, I'm gonna let you go, let you say what you got to say, because I'm actually tired. For real, I'm tired. I had a Zoom call at 5:30 before this, and I'm still thinking about some of the stuff on that. So I'm gonna let you close it out today. Thanks for everybody who tuned in. I ain't even reading on the comments. I got some comments here on station here, but I don't even feel like reading them. Thanks to everybody who tuned in on.
So we have some comments.
Yeah, we got some on station here. We got people on station here that's tuning in. And then my phone about to die on station here. That's why I want to go.
Oh yeah. Like same with my phone. Okay, so just leaving it out, everyone. Main points: use discernment when it comes to taking in this knowledge, taking into the knowledge you see on social media. Discernment, accountability. Don't be afraid to call out your own shit. Hey, I got my own shit. Tawana got her own shit. Everyone has their own shit. And focus on the Wakanda in your intermediate family, because it's easier to govern, it's easier to help guide and see and help guide 3 people in your family versus a whole community. So that seems more realistic. And plant seeds. Seeds are important. And plant seeds, whether that person don't take the seeds or not, you'd be surprised. That seed might bloom later in their 30s and it might change.
Absolutely. Shout out to who was this? I just want to give him a shout real quick.
Okay.
Shout out to Jay. I can't even pronounce this name right here. Whoever this is. Jay. I don't know who this name is. Sophia. Shout out to Ellen. Shout out to Shariah. Thanks you guys for all y'all tuning in on Station Head. We appreciate you guys tuning in. So we're finna get ready to wrap it up. I appreciate you again, Dwayne. Yeah. Next Thursday, we'll have some more topics for you guys. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm sorry that I'm tired, but I was hungry and I had not eaten all day, so I'm feeling like
yeah.
So last thing before we go, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I love when great things happen. I'm gonna show you guys this right here, and then I'm gonna let you go, Dwayne. Where it is, here it is. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but I got this email about 11:59 today. Hold on. So that was from the Stop Alcohol. You might can't see some of it, but it says, "Hi, Tawana. Those videos were amazing. I shared them with who? SHAMHSA, Shamsa. You know who that is? Yes. So I ain't really want to tell too many people, but I did get approved for another grant.
All right.
Directly from Samsa. So when we're telling you that you can be the change that you want to see, some people say I'm too hard. Some people say that they wouldn't work with me. Some people say they want this, that, and the other. But guess what? I take all of what everybody's telling me, and guess what? I put it into my repository back here, and I do what the hell I need to do for advocacy. I don't give a damn what they say. For me, it's grassroots. I don't want nobody, no big machine behind me. I always say that, because if a big machine behind me, it's going to bastardize my movement. I ain't going to be able to say what I want to say. I'm going to have to worry about it if I'm up here talking with y'all. Somebody going to say, oh, let me send a video. Right now, they can say what they want to. I don't give a damn. See, I don't never want to live in a present where somebody can say, well, your job said you can't say this right here. Fuck that job. I'm an individual first, and I have to be able to present the things that I feel are progressive for our people. So that's another thing. So I'm proud of Recovery Warriors for being able to get that without any major backing. That's my main thing. It's never any major backing. It's just doing the ground, the footwork right here in the street. So again, I'm out. I'm going to let you go, D, because I'm tired. Go get you something to eat. I appreciate you again. And if there are any words you want to say, go ahead and close us out.
Just everybody, peace and love. And with this new wave of change, let's get it. Let's get it. Peace.
I appreciate you so much. All right. I got people in chiming in on Station Head still. All right. Thanks, D.
All right.